Hey nerdlings!
Hello!
So we just got back from the movie theater, and if you can't
We
tell,
saw Ready Player One!
but we just want to give some real quick first impressions because even though we don't really do like movie reviews unless it's something that's like pretty much really near and dear to us, like
Yeah.
Wonder Woman was to you.
Yeah, the Sirens thing, we really enjoyed doing that one.
But both of us actually absolutely loved the book Ready Player One. And I mean, we've been waiting so long for this movie to be made. It's one of those definitely never thought this movie would be made.
Hipster moment. We loved it before it was ever popular. So.
actually, to be fair, these shirts, these well-worn
we bought
shirts,
these like 4 or 5 years ago.
These were shirts for the book, and you know, a lot of people didn't even know like what it was. You know, of course, now you walk into Hot Topic because they're like, oh, hey, we saw that movie too, and it's like. Yeah, well, read the book, though.
Yeah.
But anyway...
Hey, I got the keys.
Oh, yeah. See, we're already on top of it. We already got the keys.
Got the keys.
So we're good to go.
Yeah.
We're actually heading to the final gate in just a minute, but, we wanted to tell you guys.
Final gate? We've already got the Easter egg.
So, for starters, we're going to try to not talk about spoilers in the beginning, but then we'll let you know, because there were a few spoiler things that we did want to kind of bring down.
And we'll let you know so that you can come back to this video after you've watched it, or if you don't care about spoilers, continue to watch, or if you've already seen it.
So, first of all, no spoilers.
Yes.
The very first thing I want to say is if you are a fan of the book, and I don't think this is giving anything away, but if you are a fan of the book, do not go into this movie expecting it to be like the book. It is not.
And the reason that that's not a spoiler is because if you are a fan of the book and you've watched the trailer, you already knew that it was gonna kind of
deviate from a lot of things.
Yeah.
The best thing I recommend you do is, if you're a fan of the book, go into the movie as if you're just watching the movie and look for book-related Easter eggs.
Yeah.
I think that you'll enjoy it a lot better that way instead of expecting it to, or hoping it to be like the book.
Yeah, it's one of those, it's definitely more of a nod to the book, not adaptation of the book.
Now,
we did like it though. I mean, don't get us wrong.
In short, it was a very fun movie.
It was good. It was fun. It was what you wanted because of the Oasis and how immersive it is and how you wish you could live in the Oasis. So that was fun to get to see.
Obviously they should, but they spend a lot of time in the virtual world.
Yes, they do.
So they didn't like cut that down just to have a lot more realistic world things. And, it has a lot of good 70s and 80s music mixed in there, again, like it should. So the audio was on par. The score was really well done,
really
too.
Good.
Was it, I think maybe Alan Silvestri? I could be wrong, but it seems like that's where the score came from.
They updated a lot of the pop culture-ness of it because the book very much concentrates on like 70s and 80s pop culture, which was why we loved the book so much because it was what we grew up with. But since it's a movie done in nowadays, they definitely brought in a lot of recent pop culture things.
Which, if you saw the trailer, not really a spoiler, but characters like Tracer from Overwatch. But
some Minecraft stuff in there.
Yeah, and I honestly didn't mind
No,
that.
because you want to kind of go with the times.
It seemed to make more sense to have more modern references in there too. As far as like the actors, I mean, did you have an issue with any?
No, actually, I thought they did really well. I will say in the beginning. Oh wait, no, I can't say anything yet. I'll have to leave that for the spoiler bit.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'll save that for the spoiler part.
But yeah, as far as all the characters that you had in the movie, especially with the High Five, which are our main characters, our main good guys, they were great. They were very well cast. Even Sorrento was a good bad guy, which he's always great.
He was very good at just being corporate. He wasn't sleazy or anything. He was just good corporate.
Yeah,
he just had a very business corporate mindset, and that didn't go over with Halliday.
There's a character, I mean, just without dropping any names, just in case it could be perceived as a spoiler, but there's a character that's kind of a minor antagonist in the book that had a larger role in the movie.
Yes.
And he was a good bad guy, too.
Yeah,
and
he was.
It actually fit really well, even though, again, it wasn't like the book. It worked very well.
I will say, I didn't like him in the book at all, just because he was an annoying little snivelly guy. But in the movie, they did a good job, the actor did a good job of portraying him as just like henchman #1, like a good henchman. So it's like, okay, I don't mind him anymore.
The visuals were absolutely fantastic.
They were stunning. It was really good CG.
I'm already looking forward to a second viewing. Again, this is just our first impressions, but I really want to see it again just to kind of look for any moments that might feel a little more rubbery. Kind of like, by comparison, maybe recently Black Panther. The CG throughout the whole movie was fantastic, except for, I'll just say, the train scene. Things kind of got a little, maybe a little loose, a little cartoony there. But it didn't seem like there was anything like that in this movie. However, I don't know if because it's a video game movie set in a video game, if maybe we excused it.
Maybe.
Anything that looked a little
We
off.
did, this first viewing that we did, we watched it in 2D. And I think when we go back, we're going to try for 3D, so we get both kind of aspects of it. Because sometimes things look different when you watch it in 3D versus 2D. So I'm kind of looking forward to giving that a try.
And just as far as the story itself goes, ridiculously different from the book, but it worked pretty well for the movie, I think. It was very strong. There were a few moments that, you know, it's like maybe it progressed a little too quickly.
Yeah, definitely. Things. I mean, it was a, what, 2 hour and 20 minute movie?
So, yes.
It didn't feel like 2 hours and 20 minutes because the whole thing was just paced really, really quickly. And the book does drag things out.
The book does have some
several
moments.
years doing things, and this one felt like, what, 2 weeks? Like maybe they did everything in 2 weeks.
So you know, good visuals, or I'd say very good.
Yeah, I was very impressed. I didn't feel like anything was CG, but maybe then again, like you said, it's supposed to be fantastical, so you kind of excused it away. I am very curious to know if the actors, if it was like the motion capture.
Yeah, that would be neat.
I would like to know if it was motion capture, because most of the time you see the actors, you only get to hear their voice and you see their avatars, which don't look anything like their character.
Now, to be fair, because we like the book so much and we were looking forward to this movie, we watched the trailers, of course, but that was it.
Yeah.
We didn't dig
we didn't read any articles or anything like that.
You know, you wanted that fresh experience when you went to watch the movie. So yeah, very good visuals, really good casting.
Yes.
I don't think there was a single person that I felt was miscast at all. Fantastic music and score. I really liked both. We've already been trying to keep an eye out for the soundtrack.
Yes.
I was really hoping that it would already be available for sale in stores, like a physical version, because sometimes they'll put the soundtracks out, you know, before the movie even releases.
Although it's going to be really hard to beat the Guardians.
That's true. you have to get a disc changer going on there. But so yeah, overall, just first impressions, I'm satisfied.
Yeah, I liked it. I'm not as upset as I thought I was going to be watching the previews. We'll put it that way. I was very upset watching previews.
I think the more you can remove yourself from the book when watching the movie, the better off you are.
Yeah.
All right. So, in general, it seems like we liked it.
Yeah.
I think that's it. So at this point, let's talk about a couple spoilers.
Spoiler! Woo! See my waving hand? Spoilers, giving you time to pause it. Pause it. Okay, you've had enough time. It's spoiler time.
Okay, it's spoiler time.
So, let's go back to what I was going to say about one of the characters. H, if you either spoiler or read the books, whatever, H is actually a chick. She's, not a guy. Not a guy at all. So, when I heard H's voice on the trailers, I thought it just sounded weird, and I was like, well, it looks like they're trying to go for this, because he's like this big, buff, bald, half robot, half human thing, and I was like, well, I think they're just trying to go for this, like, big sounding voice. But when you watch the movie and you can hear the voice, her talk more, you realize that it literally is just the actress's voice that they modded or whatever to sound like a guy. So it's her voice that they made deep to sound like a guy. So I thought that was actually a good touch. So I actually really liked the voice after the fact, because I mean, like I said, I knew going in that it was a girl guy. So, but she does that so that no one makes fun of her online, because some of you girl gamers know we get made fun of sometimes, or we get hit on a lot from guys. If they find out there's a chick, they just start talking nasty to you. So she went into it being a guy so that no one would take advantage of her or hit on her or whatever. So that's why Helen, I think was her name, went in as a guy as H.
Now, one issue that I think both of us shared were the ways that they changed up how it worked in the game to get the Easter egg.
Yeah.
In the book, you get keys, and then you find the gate, you use the key to open the gate, and then there's an additional challenge there. And then that challenge will be what leads you to the next key, and it goes on like that. In the movie, it does go, basically, you just get a key, and it opens a gate, I guess.
You open a gate, and the gate is what gives you your clue for the next key. That's all the gate is. So we didn't like that.
It was disappointing simply because it was like less challenges. I think if you're the best way that you can look at it is think of the fourth Harry Potter movie.
Yeah.
With the maze at the end, and you got so little of it compared to the book, and you really kind of wanted to see more of it. I think that's kind of how this felt.
It's one of those things, like if you've read the book, you understand that you're beginning if you win, you get a crap ton of money and control over the Oasis, which everybody uses, which is why the Sixers want the egg. So you need tough challenges. So it needs to be a challenge to get the key, and then a challenge to get through the gate before you can even get the clue to move on. And this one, it just made it rather kind of simple. It
oversimplified it, even for the sake of it being a movie. I don't expect them to have the runtime of a movie that you would have with a book, but
montages, come on.
Went a little too fast for me, I think.
The other problem that I think both of us had with it, because we loved the book so much, is literally all 3 key challenges were changed, except for the last one. So I guess 2 key challenges, because the first one was supposed to be against Joust. It was a race in the movie, which was like, what the heck? That was the first clue, which literally, as soon as the movie starts, boom, you're in the race for the gate. And so, like, right out the gate, literally, you realize this was not going to be like the book. And so that was different. The second gate the second key challenge was completely different. I don't even remember. What was the second one?
Well, without prolonging this, the point is, they just completely changed it.
Yeah.
To the point that it's one thing to kind of differentiate them, but I mean, these were totally different. Like, it was nothing like what the challenges would be. And in the book, you had the key challenge and then the gate challenge. In the movie, you only had the key challenge. And even though they had like 2 things to choose from for each key, they didn't go with either one.
Yeah.
And that would go on with, the second one was The Shining.
The Shining, that's
They
right.
go into the movie The Shining, which in the book, the first gate challenge was going into the movie War Games. So it was very weird that they completely dropped War Games, but then threw in The Shining, of which I don't even know if there was a mention of in the book.
I don't remember.
But that's just an idea of how vastly different they were.
The other thing was, in the book, nobody except for Parzival and H are friends, but they don't know Dido, they don't know Shoto, and they don't know Artemis. Well, the movie opens basically with H, Parzival, Daito, and Shoto all being friends, going on quests together. And then they meet Artemis at the race, and they all just kind of start hanging out after that. It wasn't like, it wasn't until everybody got all the first key in the book, that they all decided to start kind of hanging out together.
But the point is, obviously they were just trying to, quicken the friendship to make it more of an entourage thing, which, for the sake of the movie, I am okay with that, but just, that was kind of weird that they did it so quick. The one thing, though, speaking of the friends that bothered me, was, again, huge
Major
spoiler, obviously.
here.
In the book, Daito dies. In the movie, he does not. And the reason I have a problem with that is because in the book, that really gives you a sense of how heavy the situation is and how dangerous it is.
Kill him.
Because, it shows just how important it is for someone other than IOI to get a hold of the Easter egg. I think the last big spoilerific thing that was kind of weird to me was, I guess just like the theme in the book, there's very much a theme of love from Halliday. And in this one, they really,
friendship.
it was more friendship, which was kind of fine, but because they dropped that theme of love, it was very weird. They dropped that from the book into the movie, but then in the movie there is a big love interest between Artemis and Parzival. And I feel like if they would have just kept that love, you know, that would have helped build the love between them even more. I don't know. It was just kind of a weird thing for me that they changed that.
They also ended it quite differently. In the book, the world explodes and they're just in blackness, and that was the reason that
the Oasis world.
Yeah, the Oasis world, sorry. That was the reason that Parzival is the one who goes on to win the game, because he had a 1-up coin that gave him an extra life where nobody else did. So then everybody worked together to help him get it. In this one, it was everybody kept saying that Parzival is the one who should win.
Whole time, yeah. And
I don't know why they felt he was the chosen one.
Something that was fun in the book is that even though they are friends and they're kind of working together, there's very much that competition amongst them. And that's actually a good point with Parzival and Artemis, their relationship. In the book, they're very much competitors, but still friends. I didn't get that sense in the movie at all.
The other thing that I didn't like is the fact that pretty much in the middle of the movie, all 5 of the characters met in the real world and started hanging out and fighting against the bad guys. Whereas in the book, nobody meets each other literally until the very end, after the egg has been discovered. And I actually liked that because it helped build up to it, and it was almost like the reward for winning.
There's more of a payoff in the book.
And this one, it's just like, you know.
Speaking of payoff, just real quick, a very minor thing. In the book, Parzival plays a perfect game of Pac-Man, and that's what earns him that coin for that extra life. In the movie, he makes kind of a silly, offhanded side wager with the curator, and when Parzival wins that little bet that wasn't even like official, the curator flips him a coin in there. He's got it. There wasn't, you know, as far as like payoffs.
There was no fanfare. There was no reason.
It felt like in the book he earned that extra life, you know, because he did that, because it tied him playing that perfect Pac-Man game. It tied him to Halliday even more.
Yeah, and it's not easy to do that perfect Pac-Man game. But anyway, I mean, I know we're doing a lot of nitpicky stuff, but I think that's part of you know, doing a review and comparing things. Is we're trying to compare what was completely different from the movie and the books. We still liked it. I still enjoyed it. It's just I didn't like some of the changes that they did. Like, something I went into the movie very curious about was all this Iron Giant merchandise everywhere. I get Iron Giant was a Steven Spielberg title, so, you know, he's got the rights to it. But Iron Giant was kind of mentioned in the book. But from looking at all the merchandise everywhere, it seemed like Iron Giant was going to be very prevalent in the movie. And he was prevalent in the movie because H was building the Iron Giant, and then that's the only real mecha monster that kind of shows up at the end, whereas in the book, everybody has a mecha monster.
It's kind of a bigger deal.
Yeah.
But again, it's just a lot of little changes like that. You know, things like in the book, you had the Spider-Man giant robot.
I was really curious to see.
In the movie, they go with a Gundam, which that makes a little more sense because Gundam is a lot more popular worldwide than Spider-Man ever was. Sorry. But, you know, I mean, Gundam's definitely more recognizable. But, you know, yeah, it's very much little things like that. I liked that there were modern pop culture references.
Yeah.
There was a good amount of older, like, 80s pop culture references. I would have liked to have seen more. I thought it would have been more fun. Start the movie off, you see a lot of modern references. As the movie progresses and more interest in getting the Easter egg and Halliday himself grows, the more 80s pop culture references you would see. Like, they were really bringing it back. So, you know, just minor stuff like that. But again, all I can really say is if you're not expecting it to be exactly like the book and just treating it as a movie,
it's a fun movie. Yeah, I don't think any of the changes made me not like the movie.
Right.
I mean, my overall take from this, despite all the changes, is I still really liked the movie. It was a good, fun movie. Anything that's 2 hours and 20 minutes that doesn't feel like 2 hours and 20 minutes is doing a good job. So
I guess that's pretty much all that I have to say.
The only thing I have to say is that, you know how much I love my toys, so I will say I did bring all of my Ready Player One toys to the movies. And,
of course.
And I brought a little tiny joust cabinet, game cabinet, and then my keys that I showed you at the beginning, and my little action figures. And then we wore our shirts. So we definitely dressed for the occasion, and we were festive. And our waiter at Alamo seemed to really appreciate that. As always.
Well, guys, of course, as always, let us know what you thought of the movie, if you've seen it, if you can separate it from the book or not, or if it just kind of, maybe ruined your cinematic week because it wasn't more like the book. Which, hey, that's fine.
Yep.
Sometimes that's all you want to see. It's
we have a friend
it's like, how hard is it? Just take the book and put it on screen.
We had a friend that was very upset after he read the book and then watched the preview. He was very mad.
So give us a like if you like this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Comment with what you think about Ready Player One, book or movie.
Yep.
And of course, there's that notification bell if you want to make sure that you're always seeing our videos.
Yes.
Try to get lots of videos out, 2 a week, I think.
Like us on Instagram and Facebook. We've got stuff going on there too.
So, you know what? One more thing. In both the book and the movie, I absolutely love when Halliday tells Parzival after winning the egg, hey, thanks for playing my game. So you know what, nerdlings? Thanks for watching our video.
Yeah.